If you are over 60 and wake up at 2, 3, or 4 a.m. every single night, staring at the ceiling and praying for just one more hour of rest, stop what you are doing and listen very carefully. You have probably been told your entire life that drinking a tall glass of water before bed is a healthy habit. You have been told it keeps you hydrated, prevents muscle cramps, and flushes out toxins while you rest.
But today, as a medical doctor who has spent decades studying the aging body, I am here to tell you that if you are over 50, drinking plain water right before going to sleep is one of the worst mistakes you can make for your brain, your heart, and your longevity. In fact, it might be the exact reason you feel chronically exhausted, mentally foggy, and emotionally drained every single day. Today, I am going to reveal exactly what happens to your aging body when you interrupt your sleep cycle, why plain water is the enemy of a good night's rest after a certain age, and most importantly, I am going to give you the exact recipe for a specific, science-backed evening drink. You need to drink this instead of water to achieve the kind of deep, restorative, uninterrupted sleep you probably have not experienced since you were in your 30s. Let us start by addressing the absolute foundation of your health, which is the architecture of your sleep. When we are young, our bodies are incredibly resilient. You could drink a liter of water, eat a heavy meal at midnight, and still sleep through the night like a rock. But as we cross the threshold into our 50s, 60s, and beyond, our physiology undergoes profound changes. One of the most significant shifts happens with a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH. During your younger years, your brain releases a massive surge of ADH at night. Think of this hormone as your body's night watchman. It travels to your kidneys and tells them to shut down urine production completely, guaranteeing you 8 undisturbed hours of sleep. But as we age, the production of this vital nighttime hormone begins to decline sharply. Your kidneys simply do not receive the memo to shut down. When you drink a glass of plain water at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, that water goes straight through your system. It fills your bladder, and because you lack that protective surge of ADH, your bladder sends an emergency signal to your brain. This brings us to the devastating condition known as nocturia, which is the medical term for waking up multiple times a night to urinate. Nocturia is not just an annoying inconvenience. It is a severe physiological stressor that destroys your health from the inside out. To understand why this is so dangerous, you need to understand how your brain cleans itself. Imagine your brain as a bustling, incredibly busy metropolis. During the day, the factories are running, the cars are moving, and a tremendous amount of metabolic waste is generated. By the time evening rolls around, the streets of your brain are covered in toxic byproducts, including a sticky protein called beta amyloid. Beta amyloid is the exact same plaque that, when accumulated over time, is heavily linked to Alzheimer's disease and severe cognitive decline. Now, when you finally fall asleep and enter into the deepest phase of rest, known as delta wave sleep, a miraculous mechanism called the glymphatic system activates. Think of the glymphatic system as a fleet of microscopic street sweepers. The cells in your brain literally shrink by up to 60%, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to wash over the tissue and flush all those toxic, dementia-causing proteins out of your brain. But here is the catch. The glymphatic system only operates efficiently during deep, uninterrupted sleep. It takes your brain roughly 90 minutes to descend into this deep cleaning phase. If you drink plain water before bed, right as your brain is sending out the street sweepers, your bladder sounds an alarm. You wake up, you get out of bed, you turn on the bathroom light. In that brief moment, the cleaning process entirely shuts down. You have just canceled the night shift. When you return to bed, your brain does not just pick up where it left off. It has to start the entire 90-minute cycle all over again. If you are waking up 2 or 3 times a night, your brain is never getting cleaned. You are waking up every morning with yesterday's metabolic garbage still clogging your neural pathways. This is why you feel groggy. This is why you cannot remember names. This is why your blood pressure is higher in the morning. Your brain is suffocating in its own waste simply because you drank a glass of water before bed. Before I reveal the exact elixir you should be drinking instead, we need to completely shatter 3 massive myths about sleep and aging that are keeping you exhausted. Myth number 1 is that as you get older, you naturally need less sleep. This is a dangerous lie perpetuated by outdated medical literature. Your brain needs the exact same amount of deep sleep at 70 as it did at 30. You do not need less sleep. Your aging biology simply makes it much harder to get it without a deliberate, strategic plan. Accepting terrible sleep as a normal part of aging is a fast track to accelerated cellular decay. Myth number 2 is that over-the-counter melatonin pills are a safe, long-term solution for seniors. If you have a bottle of melatonin gummies on your nightstand, I want you to reconsider using them every night. While melatonin is a natural hormone produced by your pineal gland, the supplements you buy at the store contain massive, unnatural doses. Often, a single pill contains up to 10 milligrams, which is about 30 times more than your brain naturally produces. When you flood an older brain with synthetic melatonin every single night, you signal your pineal gland to stop producing its own. You are effectively creating a chemical dependency and disrupting your natural circadian rhythm. Furthermore, high doses of synthetic melatonin can cause vivid nightmares, morning grogginess, and even spikes in blood sugar. Myth number 3 is that falling asleep in your recliner watching television is perfectly fine as long as you get your hours in. The artificial blue light emitted by your television screens directly penetrates your retinas and completely halts the production of your natural sleep hormones. Falling asleep to the flashing lights of the evening news keeps your nervous system in a state of low-grade sympathetic arousal, meaning you are resting, but your body still thinks it is under threat. You are getting junk sleep, which is almost as bad as getting no sleep at all. Now that we have cleared away the misinformation and established exactly why plain water is ruining your nighttime cellular repair, let us talk about the solution. You need a drink that accomplishes 3 very specific goals simultaneously. First, it must not trigger your kidneys to produce excess urine. Second, it must naturally stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system to lower your cortisol levels. Third, it must provide the exact biochemical building blocks your brain needs to initiate the deep delta waves of the glymphatic cleaning cycle. I call this the Golden Sleep Elixir. It takes 30 seconds to make, costs less than $1 a day, and uses 3 simple ingredients you can find at any local grocery store. You are going to drink this exactly 60 minutes before your head hits the pillow. The base of this drink is not water. It is 4 ounces of organic, unsweetened tart cherry juice. Why tart cherry juice? Because unlike synthetic pills, tart cherries are one of the most potent natural sources of phytomelatonin on the planet. Phytomelatonin is plant-based melatonin that is bioidentical to the hormone your own body produces. Furthermore, tart cherries are loaded with anthocyanins, which are powerful antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier and severely reduce neuroinflammation. By reducing inflammation in the brain, you allow the glymphatic system to work twice as fast. When you drink this, you are giving your brain a gentle, perfectly measured whisper to go to sleep, rather than the violent chemical shout of a synthetic pill. The second ingredient is absolutely crucial, and it sounds counterintuitive until you understand the science. You are going to add 1 tiny pinch of high-quality, unrefined pink Himalayan sea salt to the tart cherry juice. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't salt raise blood pressure? Does it not make you thirsty? Refined table salt does, yes. But unrefined Himalayan salt contains over 80 essential trace minerals, including potassium, magnesium, and calcium. When you dissolve a tiny pinch of this mineral-rich salt into your evening drink, it creates an osmotic balance in your bloodstream. It binds to the water content in the juice and pulls it into your cells where it belongs, rather than letting it sit in your bladder. Even more importantly, a slight increase in natural sodium before bed actually suppresses the sympathetic nervous system and significantly lowers your evening cortisol levels. It tells your adrenal glands that the body is nourished, safe, and ready to shut down. This tiny pinch of salt is the secret to stopping those 3 a.m. bathroom trips entirely. The third and final ingredient is the ultimate nervous system relaxant, 1 scoop or capsule of magnesium glycinate. Please pay very close attention to the specific type. You do not want magnesium oxide, which is cheap, poorly absorbed, and will act as a laxative. You do not want magnesium citrate, which is great for digestion but not for sleep. You want magnesium bound to glycine, an amino acid that acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain. Magnesium glycinate easily crosses the blood-brain barrier. Once inside, it binds to your GABA receptors. GABA is the primary calming chemical in your brain. It is the molecular equivalent of putting a heavy, warm-weighted blanket over your racing thoughts. As we age, our natural GABA levels plummet, which is why so many seniors experience terrible nighttime anxiety and racing thoughts. Magnesium glycinate restores that balance almost instantly. So, the protocol is simple. 60 minutes before bed, take 4 ounces of tart cherry juice, add a small pinch of Himalayan sea salt, and mix in your magnesium glycinate. You can drink it cold, or you can warm it up slightly on the stove like a comforting tea. Because it is only 4 ounces, it is not enough liquid to stretch your bladder, but it is enough to deliver a massive therapeutic dose of natural sleep aids directly to your brain. But this elixir, as powerful as it is, needs a proper environment to work its magic. To guarantee that you sleep through the night, you must pair this drink with 3 non-negotiable evening protocols. Actionable step number 1, the temperature drop. Your core body temperature must drop by roughly 2 degrees Fahrenheit for your brain to transition into deep sleep. As we age, our thermoregulation becomes less efficient. If your bedroom is too warm, your brain will physically refuse to enter the deep cleaning phase. Set your thermostat to exactly 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. If your feet get cold, wear socks, but keep the ambient air crisp and cool. Actionable step number 2, the light fast. Exactly 2 hours before your intended bedtime, you must initiate a light fast. This means turning off all overhead, bright white lights in your home. Switch to small, warm-toned amber table lamps. The receptors in your eyes are incredibly sensitive to overhead light, which mimics the midday sun. By bringing the light source down below eye level and changing the color to warm amber, you are recreating the environment of a setting sun, which accelerates the absorption of the Tart cherry juice. Actionable step number 3, the posture drain. Many seniors suffer from mild edema or fluid retention in their lower legs throughout the day. When you lie down flat in bed, gravity causes all that fluid in your legs to rush back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys process this sudden influx of fluid, and within 2 hours, your bladder is completely full, waking you up. To prevent this, 90 minutes before bed, lie on the floor or on your couch and elevate your legs above your heart for 15 minutes. You can rest your heels up against a wall. This drains the fluid from your legs early in the evening, allowing you to process and eliminate it before you go to sleep. Let me tell you about a patient of mine named Arthur. Arthur is 68 years old, a retired structural engineer, and he came into my clinic looking absolutely devastated. He had dark, heavy bags under his eyes. His blood pressure was dangerously high, hovering around 160/95, despite being on medication. During his consultation, Arthur confessed that he had not slept a full night in almost 7 years. He was waking up 4, sometimes 5 times a night. He told me he was drinking 2 large glasses of water right before bed because an article online told him it would prevent a heart attack. He was experiencing severe brain fog. He was irritable with his grandchildren, and he was terrified that he was developing early onset dementia. I took Arthur off his nighttime water routine immediately. I put him on the Golden Sleep Elixir, the 4 ounces of Tart cherry juice, the pinch of Himalayan salt, and the magnesium glycinate. I also instructed him to elevate his legs in the evening to handle the fluid retention. I saw Arthur exactly 2 weeks later. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. The dark circles were gone. His morning blood pressure had dropped down to a healthy 125/80. But most importantly, the life was back in his eyes. He told me, with tears welling up, that for the first time in nearly a decade, he slept for 7 straight hours without getting up once. His brain fog lifted because his glymphatic system was finally able to clear out the toxic buildup that had been choking his neurons for years. Arthur didn't have dementia. He was just profoundly, chronically sleep-deprived. Your golden years are meant to be enjoyed with vitality, energy, and mental sharpness. You cannot achieve that if your body is treating every night like a series of exhausting naps. Stop drowning your kidneys with plain water before bed. Give your brain the targeted biochemical support it desperately needs. Respect the physiological changes of your age, and reclaim the deep, healing sleep that is your biological right. If you are ready to stop feeling exhausted and finally reclaim your health, hit the subscribe button right now. Let's heal your body from the inside out, together. Leave a comment down below and tell me, how many times a night are you currently waking up? Remember, this video is for educational purposes only, so always consult with your primary healthcare provider before making changes to your routine. Until next time, take care of your body, protect your sleep, and stay healthy.